All right, so far so good. You've got all 7 keys working. They're sounding pretty good. But you might be like, you know what? I don't want just the white keys. I want the black keys as well. I'm willing to do a little extra work. This is that little extra work part. This is an optional video. I'd love if you take on that challenge, but if you don't want to, that's okay. So what we're going to do is add 5 more keys. The C4, D4, F4, G4, A4. Now we don't have 5 more black keys at the top built into our thing, but what we can do is notice how the black key for C4 is halfway between C and D key. So what we can do is actually press both C and D and then use that analog value to program in this one. So if we want to play C4 sharp, that little hashtag, that little black one, we have to push both C and D at the same time. That'll play that new tone. All right, so let's give it a shot. So first thing I'm going to do is create a little data table for myself. I'm going to write down all of those sharps. So I have C4, D4. I'm putting a hashtag at the end of all of them. D4 hashtag. And then there's no E sharp, so it's F4. I think some of these are called flat too, but I'm not sure which ones are which. And then G4 and A4, there is no B as well on a piano. All right, so I've got my data table set up. Now I need to go back and do the same thing I did before. I need to record all of the analog values for them. So I've got this code on my Arduino. I'm going to open up Serial Monitor. Oop, it didn't like that. Open up Serial Monitor, a new one, and see what they're playing. So to find the value for C4, I'm going to press C and D at the same time. Notice how I'm hearing a tone? That means I already have this frequency of looks like 510 to 525 already mapped to something. If I look down here, sure enough, my E key is 510 to 560. Let's see what E really is. I may have had too big a range. Yeah, notice how my E is actually 530 to 540. I can make this a smaller range down here. So I'm going to come over here and say, maybe I really want to do 530 and maybe just to 550 at the high end. And my other one, let's go back to open that serial monitor back up. I'm going to do CD again, and it's under 530 the whole time, so that should be okay. So now I can use that one. So I'm going to do my C4, or my CD buttons give me 510 to maybe 530 at the highest, somewhere in those 520, so 530 will get me above that. So it'll be right below this one. So you can see how you're limited by the number of keys you can have, by how many voltage variations you can make work. All right, now D4, I'm going to press D and E, and I don't hear a sound, which means it's not currently overlapping with anything. And I'm getting somewhere in the 650s to 660s. So maybe I'm going to call this one 650 to 670. So here I'm going to say 650 to 670. Let me just check to make sure I'm not overlapping. Oh, I'm close to this one, but I'm just above it, so I should be okay. Do the same thing between F and G for F4. Right now my serial monitor is just running slow. It's working, I've got to wait for it to catch up. This one's running at like in the 840s, so 840 to 850. And notice how that's just below this one. I got lucky again. So that was going to be 840 to 850. And now I'm on between G and A. That's going to give me that G4 sharp or flat. Again, I'm going to wait for my serial monitor to catch up with me. It's just running a little slow. If this gets too annoying, you can actually close the serial monitor, re-upload the sketch, and it typically takes care of this problem. Yeah, mine's too slow, so I'm going to just close my serial monitor real quick. And then it finally just popped up there. Did you notice that? And then I'm going to just download the program again. It usually refreshes the serial monitor really well. Maybe it's done uploading. Or maybe my computer is running really slow. Okay. Open serial monitor. And I'm on G4, so I'm going to go G and A. And it's in that 9, I see a 931 every once in a while. So maybe 920 to 935. Make sure that's above. Yep, that'll be right in that little range in there. So I'm going to call mine 920 to 935. And I'm just going to do this for one last one, and then we'll show you how to include it in the code. A4 is between A and B, so I'm going to push A and B at the same time. Oh, I almost heard something there. So, but it's not. It's like, I'm going to hit pause so I can see what the numbers are. Yeah, it's like 99 to 1,000. So maybe I go 995 to get below, and maybe to 1,005, and make sure that's not in a range that I already have. And it's not. Oh, it's right at the top of this one. Okay, that's okay though. That works. All right, I'm going to close this, and now I got to start programming it in. So I'm going to come up here in between C and D key. I'm going to copy and paste this else if. It's got to be an else if because it's in the middle. I'm going to hit enter below the F, so right above the D4 note. Hit V to paste it in. I'm going to change this to C because this is the C4 sharp or flat, I'm not sure what it is, and put a little hashtag here or number sign, pound sign. And then I'm going to change these ranges. So I said mine was going to be 510 to 530. And notice how these ranges aren't in order. It doesn't matter that it goes to 250, then to 500, and back down to 390. That does not matter at all. And I gotta find the frequency now. So I'm gonna pull up the frequencies for C4. Where are you? C4 flat right here, or sharp, whatever it is, 277.18, which rounds to 277. So I'm gonna type that in for the frequency, 277. I'm going to upload that and just see if I get a tone that feels between C and D, because C is 261, D is 293, C sharp or flat, whichever one it is 277. So it should be in between those two noises. All right, so here's C, here's D, here's between. So yeah, it feels kind of betweenish. It doesn't sound very good, but I like it. There you go. So we have a sharp. So you want to keep adding all the sharps in. Just find out where to put the between there. Change around the frequency, correct frequency. Make sure that the analog ranges are changed to the correct ranges, and then change up the, add the little hashtag here. Ooh, and this is the when the C/D keys are pressed. So you can copy and paste this else if before with all of them down below, changing all those little elements of it. All right, great luck. At this point, you should have sharps and full tones and everything for the middle octave on a piano. Great job. Have a nice day.